Section 9. The will of God in the present moment is the source of sanctity. O all you who thirst, learn that you have not far to go to find the fountain of living waters. It flows quite close to you in the present moment. Therefore hasten to find it. Why, with the fountain so near, do you tire yourselves with running about after every little rill? Those only increase your thirst by giving only a few drops, whereas the source is inexhaustible. If you desire to think, to write, and to speak like the prophets, the apostles, and the saints, you must give yourself up, as they did, to the inspirations of God. O unknown love, it seems as if your wonders were finished, and nothing remained but to copy your ancient works, and to quote your past discourses. And no one sees that your inexhaustible activity is a source of new thoughts, of fresh sufferings and further actions, of new patriarchs, apostles, prophets, and saints, who have no need to copy the lives and writings of the others, but only to live in perpetual abandonment to your secret operations. We hear of nothing on all sides but the first centuries, the time of the saints. What a strange way of talking! Is not all time a succession of the effects of the divine operation, working at every instant, filling, sanctifying, and supernaturalizing them all? Has there ever been an ancient method of abandonment to this operation which is now out of season? Had the saints of the first ages any other secret than that of becoming from moment to moment whatever the divine power willed to make them? And will this power cease to put forth its glory on the souls which abandon themselves to it without reserve? O love eternal, adorable, ever fruitful, and ever marvelous, may the divine operation of my God be my book, my doctrine, my science. In it are my thoughts, my words, my actions, and my sufferings. Not by consulting your former works shall I become what you would have me to be, but by receiving you in everything. By that ancient road, the only royal road, the road of our fathers, shall I be enlightened, and shall speak as they spoke. It is thus that I would imitate them all, quote them all, copy them all. Section 10. God makes known his will through creatures. In the present moment are made manifest the name of God and the coming of his kingdom. The present moment is the ambassador of God to declare his mandates. The heart listens and pronounces its fiat. Thus the soul advances by all these things and flows out from its center to its goal. It never stops, but sails with every wind. Any and every direction leads equally to the shore of infinity. Everything is a help to it, and is, without exception, an instrument of sanctity. The one thing necessary can always be found for it in the present moment. It is no longer a choice between prayer and silence, seclusion and society, reading and writing, meditation and cessation of thought, flight from and seeking after spiritual consolations, abundance and dearth, feebleness and health, life and death. But it is all that each moment presents by the will of God. In this is despoilment, abnegation, renunciation of all things created, either in reality or effectively, in order to retain nothing of self, or for self, to be in all things submissive to the will of God, and to please him, making it our sole satisfaction to sustain the present moment, as though there were nothing else to hope for in the world. If all that happens to a soul abandoned to God is all that is necessary for it, then we can understand that nothing can be wanting to it, and that it should never pity itself, for this would be a want of faith, and living according to reason and the senses, which are never satisfied, as they cannot perceive the sufficiency of grace possessed by the soul. To hallow the name of God is, according to the meaning of the Holy Scripture, to recognize his sanctity in all things, and to love and adore him in them. Things, in fact, proceed from the mouth of God like words. That which God does at each moment is a divine thought expressed by a created thing. Therefore, all those things by which he intimates his will to us are so many names and words by which he makes known his wishes. His will is unity and has but one name, unknown and ineffable. But it is infinitely diverse in its effects, which are, as it were, so many different characters which it assumes. To hallow the name of God is to know, to adore, and to love the ineffable being whom this name designates. It is also to know, to adore, and to love his adorable will at every moment and in all its decrees, regarding them all as so many veils, shadows, and names of this holy and everlasting will. It is holy in all its works, holy in all its words, holy in all its diverse characters, holy in all the names it bears. It was for this reason that Job blessed the name of God in his utter desolation. Instead of looking upon his condition as ruin, he called it the name of God, and by blessing it, he protested that the divine will, under whatever name or form it might appear, even though expressed by the most terrible catastrophes, was holy. David also blessed it at all times and in all places. It is, then, by this continual recognition of the will of God as manifested and revealed in all things, that he reigns in us, that his will is done on earth as it is in heaven, and that our souls obtain nourishment. The whole matter of that incomparable prayer prescribed by Jesus Christ is comprised and contained in abandonment to the divine will. Many times daily is it recited vocally by the command of God and of Holy Church, but we repeat it at every moment in the center of our hearts when we love to do or to suffer whatever this holy will ordains. That which takes time to repeat in words, the heart pronounces at every moment, and it is in this way that simple-minded souls are called to bless God. Nevertheless, they cannot bless him as much as they desire, and this inability is a subject of grief to them. So true is it that by the very means that seem like privations, God bestows graces and favors on faithful souls. To enrich the soul at the expense of the senses, filling it by so much the more as they experience the more terrible emptiness, is a secret of the divine wisdom. The events of every moment bear the impress of the will of God, and of his adorable name. How holy is this name! It is right, therefore, to bless it, to treat it as a kind of sacrament which by its own virtue sanctifies those souls which place no obstacles in its way. Everything bearing the impress of this august name should be held in the most profound veneration. It is a divine manna from heaven, and imparts a constant increase of grace. It is the rain of holiness in the soul, the bread of angels eaten on earth as well as in heaven. We can no longer consider our moments as trifles, since in them is a whole kingdom of sanctity and food for angels. Yes, Lord, may your kingdom come in my heart, to sanctify it, to nourish it, to purify it, and to render it victorious over all its enemies. Moment most precious, how insignificant in the eyes of the vulgar, but how great in those enlightened by faith. If it is great also in the eyes of my Father who is in heaven, how can I regard it as insignificant? All that comes from his hand is essentially good, and bears the impress of its origin.